Companies are different as a garden, and they need people who let them grow and thrive. A leader, the gardeners of the corporate culture. They tend, care, and let their plants grow, their employees. The US psychologist and scientific journalist Daniel Goleman identifies 6 types of leadership styles: the directive leader, the pace-setting leader, the democratic leader, the affiliative leader, the coaching leader, and the visionary leader. If the garden is wild, the company doesn't need someone who talks with the plants. The directive leader acts fast and gives precise commands. He calls for full compliance for his instructions, without discussion. His confident performance may appear cold and distant, but can also soften employee fears. He prepares the ground for something new, gives impetus for trend reversal, and shows problem employees how to reach their limits. This is effective, but often not for a long time. In a garden where a lot of plants are growing but not at their best, he gives new drive. He paces challenges to his employees and gives exciting targets. He especially challenges low performers, and he expects maximum performance and initiative. That leads also to excessive demand. If necessary, he rolls up his own sleeves and attends to the situation by himself. The pace-setting leader surpasses himself and others with his work, but in the long term, his leadership style can be tiring. In the short term, he improves the return of a motivated and competent team. If the garden is growing, but the general view does not look optimal, you should be talked to the plants. The leader listens carefully and creates harmony with the involvement of employees. His actions are good for the working atmosphere, but if the democratic leadership does not work, there is potentially a lot of listening for very small return. Democratic leadership works at its best if there is a demand of acceptance, for example, employee buy-in. Additionally, it is a good way to get a fast and qualified input from valuable employees. Some plants can only reach their full potential and growth with the help of others. The affiliative leader supports harmony and communication within the company. This leadership style is extremely suited for stressful phases. It is good for eliminating rifts in the team and improving motivation. The highly cooperative and emotional leadership style improves the working atmosphere and establishes the basis for better performance. He is like a gardener that brings his garden into shape for spring. Every plant gets individual attention and the gardener knows what is best for each of them. This helps employees recognize their strengths and weaknesses. He gains their trust and earns their fierce loyalty. His positive influence on the atmosphere is perfect if the needs of the individual are supported and developed. If you want to change the flower garden into a kitchen garden, the visionary leader will help it reach its full potential. He creates a plan and allows his employees to participate. The visionary leader motivates, shares his knowledge openly, and lets his employees develop. This is the best leadership style if a new strategy needs to be pursued, with a strong effect on the positive development of the atmosphere in the company. So, which gardener do you want to be? Simply the best? Then connect all of these leadership styles. Note: Goleman suggests that the best gardener would use the visionary, affiliative, participative, and coaching styles the most to create a positive working environment and get the best out of his plants, and only use the directive and pace-setting approach when absolutely necessary.